forwards here. I'm like, ooh, I like this.
There's exactly what to say. I can check a box off and say I did it. Okay. The interesting thing about this is it's a 3-step process, okay? And you're too young to remember this, but when I was young, we had home phones, and the phone would ring at 7 o'clock at night, and it would be AT&T or whatever your long-distance carrier. Hi, this is AT&T calling to help you switch, carrier, long-distance phone carriers. And, that's not how it works now, but we all have our, car salesman experience that we hate, or, somebody pushy in some other area of business. There's always those things, those phone calls that are unsolicited and those kind of things. So the goal with this is that it becomes more conversational. It's a back and forth kind of thing. And it keeps down people's sales walls. As soon as they feel like they're being sold, there's this desire to kind of like, I've got to make sure I can be strong enough to say no. It's just like this internal gut instinct that happens. And so we need to make it more conversational, going back and forth, so that doesn't happen so much, okay? So that's what this process is for. Now, you've got to you're going to have to hold on to that, because it's going to be really easy for you to want to plow through these 3 questions and go, I'm just going to be effective and get them all out of the way, and then they can answer me. And you can't do that, Lisa. But it seems more efficient to just do that. No, not efficient when it comes to sales in the end. It's efficient for time, but it's not efficient for sales, okay? So the first little phrase, and what you need to do is you need to go back to this, and you need to have it in front of you every time you're making a phone call for probably the next at least 30, 60 days. Because it's really easy to slip and miss part of it, or combine 2 questions, or several things. Now, one of the goals is you don't want to mention the name of the company. When you mention the name of a company, it instantly makes people feel like they're being sold to, okay? So that's one thing. And there's a few little magic words. So you say, hi, this is Lisa, and you can put your last name on there if you want. This is Lisa calling. And you stop. This little word calling is like a little magic word, and it cues the person that now it's their turn to talk, okay? Versus, hi, this is Lisa. They're thinking, and like they're waiting for you to finish the sentence, okay? Hi, this is Lisa calling. Okay, hi. And sometimes I love women who I know they won't know who I am. Hi, Michelle. And they're like, I'm totally laughing inside because I know they can't remember who I am, or, where we met. And that's okay. Or if they go, who? It's okay. Just go, oh, you know what? We talked about mascara. Don't let it fluster you. Or if there's a little pregnant pause, you just have to let the pause be there. And I know that's okay. That's not very fun for you, but it'll be okay. Let them talk before you talk again. Or if there's a big pause and they seem confused, it's okay. You don't know who I am. Okay? Now, there's 2 options here of what you're going to say yes. You want to pretty much guaranteed yes. You can either say, if you recall, you bought some fiber lashes from me at that booth in November. Okay? Or if I understand your friend is Susie's, and you had mentioned to her that you were so impressed with her long lashes she was sporting at your girls' night. Okay? It's either something, if you recall where you met, or I understand your friend is so-and-so's and you're interested in longer lashes. Okay? Those are your 2 options, and you stop. Again, that's the whole key. You must stop and let them respond. Because you could blend this all into one big question, but please don't. So they respond, oh yeah, hey Lisa, oh my gosh, I love my lashes. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. Now this question, I cannot believe how seldom it's used. Hey, do you have a quick minute? People just, if you picked up the phone, they just start talking. Now, I don't pick up the phone most of the time if I can't talk. I don't know why people don't let, voicemail do its job, but a lot of people don't, okay? You need to ask, is this a good time to chat? Now, please make sure you phrase it in that way, in a positive manner. I'm going to assume you have time to chat. If you say, oh, is this a bad time? Yeah, I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. You know what I mean? Like, it gives them the idea that they are busy. You want to give them the idea that they have plenty of time to talk to you. Okay? Does that make sense? So make sure you phrase it in a positive way, not in a negative way. Focus on what you want them to have, not what you don't want them to have. Okay? So do you just have a quick minute? Yeah, sure. Okay? You do these first 3 steps, you literally increase. You haven't even talked about sales, you haven't talked about the product. Doing those 3 things brings down people's sales walls and literally will increase your sales just by doing those 3 things. And you haven't even talked about mascara yet. Okay? But it does. I mean, there's some studies been proven with this. It works. Okay? So unless you're calling your mom who sees you on caller ID and goes, "Hi, Lisa." Okay, everybody else that you call from now on, I don't care which business you're calling from, or if it's a friend or an acquaintance, or I don't know, something for church or kids group or school, or I want you using at least number 1 and number 3. Number 2 is a little weird to work in, depending on, if you can call the kid's principal or something. Call, Susie's mom. No. But number 1 and number 3, but even when you're calling your mom, you can go, "Hey, Mom, do you have a quick minute to chat?"
Yeah.
You don't know if she's in the middle of doing something, okay? These are habits that if you get, so they roll off your tongue, because you're really good at creating habits, okay? So you need to take that skill you have and apply it to this and get really, really good at it, okay? Now, from there, what you're going to say is, the reason I'm calling is, and that's going to be something like, because you bought some mascara in November, I just wanted to call and see how it's working for you. Do you have any questions? Okay. Now, if they say no, this isn't a good time, you want to say, "Hey, that's no problem." And you want to do what's called an optional close. Okay. You want to have 2 options. "Hey, I totally understand. That's no problem. Could I call back later today, or would tomorrow be better?" Or whatever options you have available. Don't say an option you don't have. And do not ask someone a good time for them is. Okay. You say, "When, could I call back at this time or this time?" Okay. Now, if you got a "Yes, I can chat," okay, what I want you to do is, from there, you're going to ask a few questions. This is where you're going to take those really awesome questions that you've been creating, okay? And you're going to say, "So tell me about how the mascara has been working for you. Do you have any questions?" Like, the first time I got it and tried to use it, like, I didn't know the second tube was supposed to be dry. I'm like, "I wonder what's wrong with this." Didn't know that. Okay. Which is fine. Figured it out. Had someone else give me a few tips on, where to apply it and how, to have the other one open and, some stuff like that.
It just takes practice.
I know it does take practice. It does take, and I didn't have enough like moisture on. And so then the fibers were dropping in my eyes and, it takes, like, you got to be quick and you got plenty on and, now I can do it, but I still end up with stuff on me. I got to wipe off a little bit, but, so first you want to make sure they're using it, because if you're not using it, they're not going to be a repeat customer. That's a problem. Okay. Right. So if they're having any problems with it, you want to definitely clear that up. Okay. And that's for your product. This wouldn't be like with everybody's. It just because I've experienced your product, that's why I'm saying that. Okay. But you have a lot of other products too. So check and see how that's going. Then start having a discussion with them about, "Hey, tell me if you had one makeup or what would you say? If you were to use one type of makeup before you left the house, you only put one on, which would be the most important one to you? What do you like to accentuate on your face? What kind of colors do you like to wear? How do you apply makeup? Do you do it with a brush or do you do it with a swab or what is that called? A thingamabobber. Yeah. Okay. So those are questions that I need you to create a script with and I need you to email me, and I need to see your questions, okay? And you and Missy, I know Missy's come up with some pretty good questions. You guys can bounce them off each other. I don't think she came on last week.
No, she was in the first one, but we missed her last on the Tuesday call.
Yeah, I won't say because this is being recorded, but anyway, she just has some challenges right now that aren't very fun to deal with. She'll get there.
Yeah, you've mentioned it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so I need to see your questions because they need to be open-ended. One of the things that I can see you doing by accident is it's real tempting to ask a question that seems like it makes sense, but it's rather leading and yes, no. And I'm like, well, you would like to have your lips look fuller, wouldn't you? Or something like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to ask a question that's actually open-ended and really is curious and not leading. It's very tempting because you're very systematic. It's going to be really tempting for you to like want the conversation to go a certain way. Okay. And the more you let it go the way that works for the customer, the more likely you will be to get them the product they need. You'll get better repeat business and better referrals. So you're going to have to really work hard to let go of controlling where you want the conversation to go, because you're going to find out, oh, I would have never thought to mention this color to him or this product to him because I kind of have my favorites and that's the direction I usually go. And the more open you can let it be, the better off you'll be. Okay. And it's just going to take practice. Because, like I said, you always have a plan before you go into something. And you can have a plan of questions to ask, but they really have to be pure curiosity. They can't be, I really hope they say this. Okay? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Well, of course you like longer lashes, don't you? I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't say that, but that's an extreme bad example. Okay. From someone that would say, now you want to feel thinner and healthier, right? Every company has a bad example, you could say. All right. So you ask the questions, and then you need to have about 5 questions because 1 or 2 sometimes don't apply to the person. And then it says, based on what you've told me, what you're doing is you're filling in right there the things that they need. So you ask them a question, they tell you, you ask me about what I like to accentuate, I would tell you my lips and my eyes, okay? I like my green eyes and I like my full lips. It's my thing, okay? And so you would write down, okay, eyes and lips. And you'd ask me a little bit more about lips. You'd ask me a little bit more about colors of my eyes. Okay, if there's one area, if there's one tip that you'd like to learn more about with makeup, what would it be? You write something down. So what you do is you go, based on the fact that you told me that you love to accentuate your eyes and your lips are something, you love lipstick and, I don't know, you'd like to contour your face and, bring out your cheekbones. Okay, those would be 3 things of mine. What I'd love to recommend are a couple fun products. This does this, this does this, this does this. But you have to repeat back to them the 3 needs they have. Now, the way you handle this, when you're asking a question, I say, oh, I love to accentuate my eyes and my lips. Oh, that's really cool. I have some really cool things I think you might like for that. Let me ask you a couple more questions just to get to know you a little bit better. And you keep asking questions till you can fill in all 3 boxes.
Okay.
Spaces, okay? It's real tempting when they go, oh, I love lipstick. It's going to take everything you have not to just want to run. Oh, we got this great lip stain, and we get so excited because there's a need. There's a need we can feel. Okay.
So all 3 needs have to be fulfilled before we go to the next one. Okay.
And what happens is when there's 3 needs, this is like a magic formula. When there's 3 needs, they're much more likely to buy than when there's only 1. Okay. Especially because you're trying to book parties. If you get them having $120 worth of stuff they want, well, how much easier is it going to be to get them to book a party? Because it'd be a heck of a lot nicer to get for free than to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And some will pay for it, and some will do the opposite, and they'll have a party. Okay. But the more that you can reveal needs, the more that it will get them loyal, the more they will keep coming back to you, the more, even if they only buy one product, you have an excuse to call them a couple weeks later. There's several reasons why you want to find 3 needs and not just one. The other thing is you may miss an opportunity to sell something to them because you got so excited about the lip stain, you never got to 3 other things they really could have used and may even wanted more. You need to reveal several needs.
And that's important because everybody knows about the mascara, and not many people know there's other stuff.
Right.
That you sell. So that is important.
I really like the pigments, but I'm a brush person. I've always applied makeup with brush. My mom's a beautician, so anyway, a bit of a snob when it comes to hair and makeup. But so it works for me because I like loose powders. Other people have to learn how to apply them because, and I love a wet wedge brush and to line my eyes with them too. So, but that's, not everybody knows how to do that. Some people need some education on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that's the thing. It's like you need to reveal several needs. And, like my best girlfriend, she does not wear mascara. Like I don't relate to that at all. But like she may like another one of your products, but if you base it all on the mascara, she wouldn't be your customer.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So there's like so many reasons. It is so tempting to go off on one thing. You hear that need and you just want to fill it and go for it. And it's so exciting because you think you have a sell. You're going to have a bigger sell if you find 3 things. Okay. The other thing is, if you kind of get into, hey, do you have other women that live in your house? Do you have teenage daughters? Do you have anybody else like that? That adds a whole nother level of need. Okay, like I wouldn't have a makeup party just for me, but my daughters and their girlfriends and moms are more likely to, because I'm more likely to do it for Abby than myself. Okay, you've got to realize women don't always put themselves first. So find another need. Like, do you know what doTERRA oils are, Lisa? Okay. My doTERRA people, what I have found by accident was if they keep finding needs, and if they only find a need for mom, she sometimes don't put herself first enough to get that one oil. But if there's an oil needed by the husband, and there's an oil needed by the kids, and there's 3 needs, they'll sign up. But if the consultant only focuses on mom, sometimes she won't put the money out just for herself. She will for the rest of her family. Okay? And so that's the thing. It's like by kind of thinking outside the box and finding needs from different angles, not just the makeup, but who else might need it, or reasons like, are you traveling? Do you work? Is this someone who wants to glam up? Is it someone who wants to keep it simple? They have a daughter who's just starting to wear makeup. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, multitude of reasons and not just simple makeup techniques. Okay. Now, am I remembering, do you guys have skincare yet? There's something new you have. What is it?
We have like face wash and moisturizer.
Okay. Like, do you love it? Is it something you think is awesome?
Yeah, I love it because it's simple. Like there's not much to think about. There's only 2 types of moisturizer, normal skin, oily skin, and then cleanser, and then 1 moisturizer that is supposed to work for everybody. And it probably doesn't work for everybody, but it keeps it nice and basic. Cool.
Okay. So then that's a whole nother level. Okay. So that's the thing. Like, you want to always be, you don't want to have 10 questions and go on forever. But if you can find a short list of things they want and move them towards becoming a hostess, that, then now you have 5 customers from that 1 phone call. Okay. So that's the way you got to start. If you can think more that direction, the better it is. So you want to fill in those recommendations, and then you close with an optional close, which could be, Okay, which would be better? I would love to, if you have girlfriends who have some of the same needs you do, I could come and we could do a party and I could show you how to use some of this makeup and you could get some of the stuff for free. Or if you'd like, I could get some of the stuff ordered and I can deliver it to you. Which would you like to do?
Okay.
Now, you always want to do an optional close because they had a retirement center doing this. And one said, do you want to come see it? And the other one said, do you want to come on Tuesday or Thursday? The one who said, do you want to come see it, booked under 8. The one who said, would you like to come Tuesday or Thursday, booked over 80.
Ooh, okay.
This optional close is huge. Okay.
This down.
Do not take it for granted.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Back to the previous page where it says, the reason I'm calling, and then you have 3 little sections that break it down to getting to know you better, following up on, and sharing something. Does that relate to the 3 to 5 questions on the next page?
No, those are just different reasons you could use.
Oh, okay. So when it says, I'm following up on such and such, may I ask a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can say, I'm calling to get to know you a little better. I'm following up on how the mascara is going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or I'm calling to tell you about something new that has come out, and because you bought mascara, I thought this might be something you're interested. Can I ask you a couple of questions to find out if it would be?
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. It's just that reason, like if you're calling on people from the booth, that's a totally different reason than a past hostess that you're calling.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of hard to have the perfect question there that fits every scenario. So I was trying to give you a couple of little scenarios and how that might fit.
Perfect. And then the 3 to 5 questions, those are the open-ended questions that we were working on previously anyways, right?
Yes, exactly. This builds on itself.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so there's a couple things to add to this. If you call, and you call 3 different times of the day, one of the things is I'm a big believer in now. When I learned this, it was don't leave a message until you've done this 3 times. Now, before I even leave a message, what I do after 3 times is I'll send a text, okay? Because your number's not in someone's phone. There's a lot of times they'll just screen it. So I say, hi, Kimberly, this is Lisa. We met in November. You bought some, fiber lashes from me. I would love to see how they're working for you and, see if you have any questions. After they realize who you are, can I call you later tonight or could we talk tomorrow? You need to give them an optional close so they have a reason to respond. Okay? And so sometimes you'll get a text back really fast. Like you could have just called 2 minutes ago. You send a text and they're like, oh, somebody I actually do want to talk to. La, 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 and they'll text you right back. You're like, okay, clearly you could have picked up the phone. But it's okay. I mean, a lot of people screen calls. It's totally okay. Don't take it personal. And so then if they answer you or give you some sort of feedback, then you're like, okay, now we're back on, they know who I am and they'll answer the phone now. If you don't get a text, you could try one more time, then leave a message, then wait 30 days, and you can try again if you absolutely have no other customers to contact. Okay? Don't make yourself crazy. Don't take it personal. It's no big deal. And the other one to remember when it comes to phone calling and not taking things personal you can meet a potential hostess. Let's say you do a party. You have two people that say they'll have parties. You call and you try to date them. For some reason, you didn't do it that night. So you call and try to get them dated. Or you talk to somebody on Facebook. You call to get their order. You know they want this stuff, and all of a sudden they don't pick up. I can tell you almost every time where you thought you had a connection, and then all of a sudden, like, you can't reach them, there has almost always been a life crisis. There was a car accident, somebody broke a leg, somebody died. So almost every single time I've made myself crazy thinking, why won't they talk to me now? Okay. Almost every time something bad has happened. And I just give it 30 days. I try them again. And like, we're so glad you didn't give up on us. Grandma died 5 minutes after I talked to you. It was just hysterical. Like, I've heard every story out there. Okay. And so you just have to roll with it. Do not take anything personal. It is not worth it. You're selling makeup. It's fun. It's not necessary to life. Just roll with it. Hi, baby girl.
Hi, it's Cookie. She's eating a cookie.
Yum. What kind of cookie, sweetheart? Cute. So just, I know it's frustrating and it's so easy to wonder what in the heck happened. I had a gal the other day. It was so funny. She was so cute because she's like, okay, I had this lady and she stopped me in the store and said, I love your purse. She happened to sell the purse that she was carrying. And she's like, I totally love this purse. And so I got her name and number and I follow up with her and she won't pick up the phone. I've texted her and I call her. What happened? She stopped me in the store. And she's just like, you know, she's totally flustered. I says, really? Something happened. Just wait. And she's like, okay. I says, just give it a few more days and message her again. 45 minutes after our class, the gal called her. And yes, there had been, I can't remember what it was. Somebody died or somebody got sick or something. Something did happen. I hate that you're right, Michelle. Like, I know, but you're kind of glad I'm right too at the same time. But so, you know, that will happen sometimes and you'll not be able to figure it out. Give it 30 days and try them again. Okay. Just, you know, this is not high on the priority list when a crisis happens. It's just not. Okay. It's high on the priority list if your life is semi-calm. Okay. So let's see. What questions do you have for this?
In the past, or what have you heard that works for tracking calls? Is there a certain program that you and others have used, or do you just create your own little spreadsheet with your own notes?
I need to be better about this. This is one of my New Year's resolutions. I've heard Insightly. Michael Hyatt uses Insightly. I think he does, or I saw that on his website. So I've looked at Insightly and I get how it works, and I'm going to really try that the first year. Part of my problem is I'm like complete opposite you. I like variety. I hate consistency. It makes me want to put a bullet in my head. Okay. So part of my problem is even though I find good programs, I don't use it consistently. You could use Outlook. If you love Outlook, you could do that. Okay. Just set an alarm for 2 months, to follow up, see if they're out of mascara, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. You could probably just put it out on Facebook and ask what people like to use. But Insightly is pretty user-friendly. I like some of the different parts to it. So that's kind of fun. So let me come up with something really good, Lisa, because you're much better at this than I am.
Okay, well, see, the over-analytical me, was late up one night thinking about this. It led to me, in my head, having to build, an access database to be able to track all these people and the different, it was bad.
Well, no, and that's okay. You can do that, but I'm pretty sure someone's already created it, and you can probably use it for free until you get up to 2,000 customers or something. So I'd go look at Insightly. I know ACT, A-C-T. I think that one costs money, though, to get. There's several out there. So it's just a matter of putting them in, setting reminders, having a task, okay, these are all my people. And it would be nice, I just got to get it done. Because it would be really nice to wake up and go, oh, look, here's my people to call for December 30th.
That's me.
Yeah. So I really don't think you need to make yourself crazy creating your own unless you can't find one that has what you want. And if that's the case, then I guess make your own, and maybe it's something you end up selling to other people. You know, go for it. That's your talent. Use it. But I think you probably can find one that's already created.
Do you know if Insightly is a fee-based one, or is that a free one?
It's free. Yeah, I've signed up for it. I think you have to have a whole bunch of contacts before you have to pay for it, or certain parts of it. If you want to use it a certain way, you have to pay for it. But I knew I could use it for free for right now.
Okay.
So yeah, and that one, what's cool about it is you can take any email you get from them and you forward it, and if it has their name in it, it automatically finds them in the system. You know, so like if I got an email from you, it says from Lisa, and all I have to do is forward it to this little email address in Insightly. It goes right to my account, it finds you, attaches it to your name, and you know, you can put it on your phone and on your computer. So while you're out and about, you know, you get a phone call from someone, you go to their contact information, you put in order mascara for them on the 2nd. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of ways that you can use it, and it'll connect to your computer, and, you know, so you can use it when you're out on the run or at home. But I like how it'll attach all the emails that the communication I do with people. If you have Outlook 13, is that what it is? It kind of automatically does it for you. Or if you have Google Live, like it's a email address you can create on your own. I think you pay like $5 a month. Then those you can automatically connects or something like that. I'm trying to remember, but so there's actually easier ways to do it, but it costs money, a little bit of money if you own, Outlook 13. So that's kind of some of the cool parts of it, is how you can connect your communication to it, which that always gets me in trouble at times. Mm-hmm. I go looking for their email address I need to respond to, or I forget to respond to one. So if that makes sense. Trying to think what other ones I've heard of. There's probably at least a dozen out there. So you could even just Google it. I would Google contact management systems. Most of the time, those have task managers connected to them. So, but like I said, I think you can technically do that through Outlook too.
Yeah, that's the most basic, easiest way to do it. It's just to set reminders and alarms.
Yeah.
It allows you to do repeat reminders. Call the same person every 4th Monday or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So I said, you may come up with a better way than anybody else has, and if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I don't think you have to do that.
I didn't want to create more work for myself, but it was driving me insane. I'm like, I need to know this and this, and how am I going to get that out of an Excel spreadsheet? I can't do that. Yeah, it was bad.
You're so cute, but I totally see you. I can do that too, to a certain extent. Be like, no, but I know how I want it, and that's not going to be perfect, and I need it like this, and sometimes I give in, and sometimes I still try to create it. So reinvent the wheel. There's one other thing I was going to tell you about this. Okay, so what I want you to do is take this form, and I want you to recreate it yourself. And you put in, any sort of I understand or I recall type of question that you would put there. You put in a couple of reasons. You put in your 5 questions, and make sure you have all this stuff down at the bottom to fill in. And you have a place for their name and contact information at the top. Okay. You print these out, and you have a stack and a folder on your desk, or, if you don't like things on your desk, wherever you put it. But you need to pull it out with empty forms to use with every single person you call. Okay? Because it takes time to get in the habit and you need something to take notes on. Okay. And so first of all, you don't forget the first three steps. And so you have a place to refer to your questions and a place to take notes so that you can, okay, because you said you need this, this, and this, these are the three things I would suggest. This for this, this for this, and this for this. What would work better for you, this or this? Okay. And it just takes practice. And you'll feel awkward at first. Don't worry about it. You felt awkward when you first started selling it in the first place. It'll be okay. But you'll get in a habit, and seriously, you can skyrocket your percentage of sales and parties booked and recruit interviews and all that by using this phone calling system really effectively.
I love how it's laid out. You know that, right?
I know. You like the system. So, and that's a fun thing. But just make sure that you print this all up with you need to tailor it to your product, okay? And then, like I said, get them printed off. Do not take it for granted and try to do it without your script. If you worked hard enough to put it together, have it in front of you when you make your phone calls.
Yeah. Well, my car's going in a service tomorrow, so I'll be at the dealership for like a good hour trapped. So I'll probably use that time to see if I can get through a few of the calls that I've been needing to make.
Perfect. And send, put this together, send it to me, and I'll critique it for you and go, oh, here's this little tweak, and here's this, and oh, that was a yes, no question. Try this, and I can make a couple little tweaks for you if you need it. Okay.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. So I think that's it for the night.
Okay.
If you haven't sent me your questions yet or your goals, your specific goals, be sure and do that.
Okay. Do you just want us, or would you want me to just scan you a copy of the goals?
Yeah. Yep. If you filled all that in, go ahead and do that. Do you have any questions on anything else we've covered?
Yeah, the bucket list and the family goals, I'm finding that it kind of, I'm seeing that a lot of the items I'm adding kind of goes on both lists. Am I missing something here? Am I not?
That's totally okay.
Okay.
It's just the practice of setting goals and thinking about what you want. And you want to, I mean, the whole idea is that you're doing this a little bit with your husband and your kids, which I know they're tiny, and that's, in 5 years from now, it's going to look totally different than it does right now. That's okay. But it's the whole idea is that you actually learn something. Most of the time people tell me they learn something new about their spouse or their kids. It's just the practicing of the goal setting helps you to bring out what's most important to you. Okay.
Okay. And then I have one more question. Okay, so the weekly tracker.
Yes, ma'am.
We have, so across the top it says fill in short-term goals, and then across the left-hand side it's weekly activities. I'm having a hard time differentiating the two. Like I feel like my short-term goals, because I lack.
Oh, sorry. Weekly activities means something you'd only do once a week. That's what it means.
Okay.
It's too small a box to put only do once a week.
Okay.
That's a 2-hour phone calling session. That's a date with your husband. That's going to a networking activity. That's something where, you don't want to put it in one of the 4 boxes across the top, because those are things that should be done 3 to 7 times a week. So the side is for those couple of things that you want to make sure you do, but you'd only do once a week.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it.
If you look at the example sheet, sometimes that helps. And then there's also it's written out, the instructions on how to use it. So between those two, but sometimes I forget details on there.
Okay.
So yeah, be sure, especially where you are so busy with this other job, if you can fit some activity in there, this will help. Do you know what I mean? That it's like, okay, I got 10 phone calls in between, blah, blah, blah. All those things add up. Keep those wheels going and follow up with all those people that you contact in November. I mean, you should be able to book some parties with some of them.
Yeah. Reaching out to them.
Yeah. Okay. So keep them in the loop and take good care of them. and you'll have repeat business and get some more, referrals and outside business with them.
Yeah, it's been fun to see some of the other ladies on my team, grow.
Mm-hmm.
And they're around the same time I have. And I'm like, man, if I could have just really dedicated myself
Yeah.
and kept going, where could I be now? But now it's like I'm finally applying myself, so I'm excited to see.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. So, well, and my plan is to come to Seattle. Did you know that?
I saw that. Did you end up finding a place yet?
I haven't.